On Friday, Prime Minister Trudeau, in an official statement, acknowledged Pope Francis's apology and called it, quote, a step forward in acknowledging the truth of our past. Mitchell Case was a member of the delegation, which included Métis residential school survivors, and he's joining us now from Rome. Mitchell Case, first of all, thanks for joining us again.
Sure. Thanks, Martin. Thanks for having me.
It has been a few hours since you sat in that room, in that audience room, and you listened to the Pope speaking those words. What are your thoughts now? What are your feelings a few hours later?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly been a whirlwind of a day with with the survivors here, and just my role here trying to as best as possible to support the survivors. But it has been certainly a moving day to hear those words from the Pope today, to sit there and to throughout this week, throughout our encounter with the Pope on Monday to today, our experience on Monday and the experience that was shared with us by our Inuit and First Nations relatives, that it seemed that he genuinely was listening. He genuinely was trying to understand. And then to hear those words today was very, I think it'll do a lot of good for a lot of people.
Okay, I was going to ask you that. Did the apology, as you heard it, and a lot of people now are parsing every single word of it, did it express and did it address everything that you had hoped for and survivors might have hoped for in an apology?
Sure. So I'm a politician, so people parse my words all the time too, but I'm not going to do that today. I think what today is about is just being there to create space for survivors, and there will be survivors who found today's comments to be incredibly moving and everything they were looking for, and there will be survivors who think that it didn't go far enough and didn't say enough, and there will be survivors who don't care at all because no apology will ever make up for what happened to them, and they're all right. Every one of those survivors is right, and I support them, and I send my support and my love and my prayers to them today, knowing that today, whatever you're feeling about it, it is significant. How it's significant to you is each of our own experience, and So I'm not going to get into parsing the words, and I'm certainly I would say if I were on the Pope's speech writing staff for when he comes to Canada, I might offer some suggestions, but I don't think I will be. So,
okay.
I'm going to leave it there.
What about yourself, though? Yourself personally? I mean, I understand that is absolutely admirable. You're not trying to, presume how people should react. What about yourself, though?
To be honest, Martin, I'm still kind of processing it, and I think it was moving for me. To sit there with the survivors, and some of them were very, very, very moved. And of course, the Pope was speaking in Italian, but we all had copies of his remarks in English. And I saw a few of the survivors when they turned to page 4 and saw those words, "I am sorry." There were more than one that I saw, begin to tear up. And I think. I feel no matter what happens, progress has been made today, and I think that's important.
Mm-hmm. Some people are describing this trip. You're mentioning some feelings of relief, some feelings of happiness. Other people, though, are describing the trip as a very difficult one for survivors. You're dealing with them. You're helping them. Some people have said it's been emotionally quite hard.
Oh, absolutely, and it's been emotionally quite hard. It's also been physically hard. I mean, we've got survivors with us that are in their mid 80s, and I'm jet lagged. I'm dealing with the walking the Roman streets. It's been physically challenging for a lot of the survivors. I think just because of some of those challenges, but it's certainly emotionally. I think it's been challenging for survivors because they've also been, I think for some, it means they're reliving things. Mm-hmm. They're being asked to retell stories. And for our Métis survivors, quite frankly, this is the first time they're telling their stories because of the way that the Truth and Reconciliation Commission was established by the settlement agreement and the way the settlement agreement was established. Métis survivors and the Métis residential schools were left out. And so they actually haven't had a chance to tell their story. And so in many ways, this has been really really heavy for them.
Yeah, a watershed. When my colleague Peter Van Dusen spoke with you on Monday after your group had spoken to the Pope, your National Council president said an apology would be just a beginning. So what comes next?
I mean, I think, yes, President Karen said that on Monday, and she reiterated that again today, that the apology is the beginning, and it is the other things that we are certainly, we've provided a letter and a series of documents to the Holy Father, and those are available on the Métis National Council website. So I'd refer you there if you want to see very specific details of how we see the path forward. But, you know, absolute, unfettered and free access to all records pertaining to the schools in our communities. You know, quite frankly, establishing a compensation framework for the Métis survivors who were excluded from the settlement agreement, and support for you know, healing programs that have not yet been made available to Métis communities. Those are just there are other things, but it's been a long day. Those are the three that are top of my mind.
Are you optimistic that you will see movement on that? Because we have now a waiting period before the details of the Pope's visit to Canada and the apology on Canadian soil before that happens. Obviously, there's a lot of things people would like to see happen. Are you optimistic that we may see them, or might they just get swept aside in the apology is enough school of thought? I
think I'm naturally a pessimistic guy, but our survivors are so determined and so forward thinking that I want to be hopeful. I also think that you know, I'm a politician. I understand politics, and I understand the way that, you know, the public mood and the public opinion is shifting. I think that Canadians, outside of you know, our nation or other Indigenous nations, I think Canadians are expecting tangible action. I think Canadians are expecting, okay, enough with words. Do the things that need to be done to you know, bring a little bit of honor and integrity back to this country's dealings with Indigenous people. So I'm hopeful, you know, and I, you know, I'm getting a lot of messages from you know, mainstream Catholics who are just happy to hear this, because they felt shame also understanding these histories, and that their spiritual leader has apologized.
Okay, well, on that note, that's a good note to leave it on. I want to thank you very much. Wish you good luck and a happy trip home. Thanks for speaking with us.
For sure. Thanks a lot, Martin. Take care.